All right, joining me now is Congressman Scott Franklin, a Republican from Florida. Congressman, what goes through your mind? You see these people marching in our streets, waving the Mexican flag, and they're burning the American flag. What does that tell you, sir?
Well, it tells me I just thank God we had an election and Donald Trump's been elected again. We have a new sheriff in town. And what we're seeing already is promises made, promises kept. This is exactly what he promised the American people. It's what they wanted, and it's why he was resoundingly elected. So, this is what he promised to do, and just stand by. This is the first of many promises he's going to keep.
You know, the legacy media, the drive-by media, they crack me up, Congressman. They fall for this every single time. Everybody's out there moaning and groaning about these tariffs that were imposed on Canada and Mexico. Now we know both countries have surrendered. They're waving the white flag. Mexico now sending 10,000 of their troops to the border, so our guys and gals don't have to go down there. Congressman,
Exactly.
The president said we were going to get tired of winning.
Well, like I said, I see you've got Colombia there. Exactly. He makes good on his threats, and it's about time that we stood up for ourselves as a country. We've been trampled on like a doormat for years and years. We've allowed it, and we're just not going to take it any longer. And I think, the threat of tariffs, whether they're used to reset the trade rules and the rules of engagement so that our producers and growers and manufacturers can produce and compete fairly, or if it's a tool to get them in line to obey our laws and our sovereignty, then I'm all aboard. And we're already seeing the effects of that and that they do work.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has unveiled a 10-part plan for House Democrats. And I want to play, do we have some audio here, guys? Let's play that audio. All right, we don't have that audio. Congressman, my apologies here. Hakeem Jeffries, though, has come under fire over the past couple of days, threatening to unleash people in the streets. That sort of rhetoric, sir, that cannot be helpful, can it?
Well, it's funny how again, your drive-by media doesn't seem to want to talk about that kind of stuff. But I have read some of Jeffrey's comments today and how the Democrats aren't going to play ball with the Republicans. Have at it. And we've already seen in several of the bills that we've put forth since with the new Congress, we've had Democrats breaking ranks and joining over our sides because they know that's what the American public wants, and it's to their peril. If they want to play hardball and stalemate us, then they're going to have another hard lesson coming in 2 years.
Congressman, you were a Navy pilot for a number of years. I'm curious to get your thoughts. We're still getting intel into what may have happened, what may have led to the collision there at Reagan National Airport. Anything that concerns you, anything that raised your eyebrow?
Well, it was such a high-profile accident. We had a lot of immediate footage and video from that radio transmission, so we have a lot more info than we would normally get. For point of comparison, the accident over the weekend in Philadelphia, that one's going to take a lot longer, I think, to sort out. But the crash in DCA the other night, a couple of things that jumped out to me. I've observed for a long time people have been complaining about the volume of air traffic in the DC corridor. It's some of the most congested airspace in the country, certainly the most secure, most sensitive from a national security standpoint. And I was stunned to know that it was routine, that helicopters could be operating on routine flights, flying as high as 200 feet directly below commercial airliners, that when they're on that final glide path like the American jet the other night, or around 325 to 350 feet, anywhere else in the country, two aircraft passing within 150 feet of each other would constitute an emergency and a wave-off type situation. And yet we wrote procedures that allowed exactly that to happen. And it's shocking knowing that this is what the procedures have been, that it hasn't happened sooner than this. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. We want to make sure we pursue all the avenues and learn everything we can from this. But I am encouraged to see that the FAA has already changed some of those guidelines as far as the procedures for helicopters in the DC corridor.
All right, Congressman Scott Franklin from Florida. Congressman, thank you for coming on.